Hi there, and welcome to the training for the VP of Finance role for your JA team. Finance can be a pretty tough job sometimes. Are you great with numbers? Do you have high attention to detail? Do you love using spreadsheets? Then this role could work perfectly for you. If no, well then I hope you love learning. Hey Kristen, what's up? Oh hey Kristen, just making a video. You want to hear a joke? Maybe not at this moment. Why do teenagers travel in groups of 3s and 5s? Not sure. Because they can't even. I need a pumpkin spice latte in my Ugg boots. The main focus of any financial department is to manage accounting, reporting, budgeting, and forecasting, controls, and treasury activities. Mainly, you will be tracking the money as it goes out for expenses and comes in from sales. You are responsible to calculate exactly how much profit the company has made and the amount that your team has to spend as they move through the program. Your work may seem simple at first, but when every number has to be completely accurate, you'll be surprised at how tough it can be. Remember that this doesn't need to be all done by yourself. Delegation is the key for success.
Pull together! We got a rescue on our hands! You there! Here we go!
Make sure to always be the one to review and check numbers when you give your work to others. You can be responsible for the following: calculation of the break-even for your product, helping make the decisions for sales price of the product, forecasting costs for the company, including when expenses occur, reporting to the company their financial position, reviewing all accounting entries, comparing sales receipts to cash received, reviewing invoices provided to you to ensure they are a valid expense, and having signing authority on all company checks. A check? Can't you just e-transfer me? Writing a check is a life skill, Kristen. I got skills to pay the bills that I pay with e-transfer. Success in this position takes work. Let's discuss the main tips for success. Tip number 1, budgeting. Budgeting is crucial to determining the company's cash requirements throughout the program. Some things to consider in your budget are sales. Trying to think of it from 2 different angles. First being, what is the best we can do? What happens if everything goes right? And the second being a bit more critical. What might be a problem? How many could we sell if things don't go our way? You'll want to forecast somewhere in between those 2. Purchase of inventory and supplies. This seems like a cost that may be simple to consider. You'll want to make a certain amount of the product, which pieces you need to complete that target amount. One wrench in this plan is that you'll have to consider the amount of waste. Products aren't always made the exact same, and everything that isn't up to par will have to be dealt with as waste. Make sure you budget that waste or you'll be in trouble real quick. Payment of salaries. This is totally optional and should be decided as a team. If you factor this in, it may put a lot of pressure on your sales team and yourself.
You're getting 30 grand? I'm getting 1,000!
But you guys are getting paid?
JA invoices. You will have to pay $100 in JA tax midway through the program. At the end of the program, you will also donate 25% of your earnings. These are separate and come out at 2 different times in the program, but you have been warned. Donations. It is mandatory that your company pick a charity and donate a minimum of 25% of your earnings to that charity. Make sure to factor that in. Sometimes my mom calls me a charity case, so can you donate to me? Bank fees. All banks charge minor fees for having a bank account. These fees are often taken monthly and are very small. Still, if they're not accounted for, your numbers won't match up and your projection may be incorrect. Cash position. Where is your money and in which form? Is half in the bank account and half in cash? If so, you'll have a hard time transferring money. Or maybe if it's all in the bank, you might have a hard time running to the dollar store and picking up any last minute supplies. Consider where your cash will be and who will have access to it. Be realistic. You won't get credit for budgeting to be profitable. You only get credit for being accurate. I'm sure the weather people want to tell us it's going to be sunny and beautiful every day, but if they did, we would be unprepared and angry. Be a good weather person.
Okay, it seems our initial estimate was a little off. They're more the size of basketballs. Pieces of ice the size of basketballs are falling from the sky, so that is pretty serious.
Tip number 2, calculating break even. Break even number is the number of units you'll need to sell to cover your fixed and variable costs. The calculation for this looks like this.
MCA!
This can also be referred to as... So maybe I'm running a company and we are trying to sell something cool like
Candles!
Right, candles. And maybe we'll sell them for, I don't know, $15 each. Oh my God, take my money. Yeah, so for the sake of my business, has some fixed costs that total, let's say, $4,000 a month. Don't freak out. Your JA team won't have any cost this high. But in this story, that's the case. And the cost to make every candle is $10 per unit. With this, the equation looks kind of like this. And you can work it out like this. In the end, I would have to sell 800 candles in order to break even. Honestly, if you look around my room, I have at least that many. My mom says I'm like a fire hazard or something. Hopefully this all makes sense. It's an easy calculation once you have the numbers, but defining all of those numbers can be a real issue depending on your product. Tip number 3, communication. As with all executive positions, teamwork will be a major factor to your success. You're going to have to constantly communicate with your teammates to keep track of numbers and forecast for the future. One way to succeed is to have weekly reports that you can go over every team meeting. Make these reports as detailed as possible and bring hard copies for everyone. It will be much easier to catch mistakes and inaccuracies if you have numbers recorded for every meeting. These will also be important for team decision making. If everyone knows the details, then they'll be able to change things earlier rather than later. In the team, you're the person that should be involved in every purchase your team makes. It doesn't necessarily mean you're making each purchase, but no one on the team should make a purchase without your input. You are the bank for the team. Your job is to take care of the money and prevent everyone from spending money you don't have. Sometimes the budget will have to be changed. Priorities can sometimes shift. It's okay. Don't freak out. Think of the candles. Just make sure that you're discussing this as a team and making decisions together. If things need to change, then do your part to make that transition smooth. Tip number 4, organization. Obviously, with all the numbers and accuracy, organization is going to be important. At the end of the program, all your financial records will be audited. This means they'll be checked over by professionals to judge their accuracy. The more organized your records are, the easier it'll be for the auditor. If you're going for awards and scholarships, this should be your highest concern in this position. Pro tip!
Making a move, and it is worth the wait.
Every transaction entered into your general ledger should be numbered, and the supporting documentation, the sales receipts, invoice, and other, should have the same corresponding number. These should all be kept in some type of organized manner to make it easy for the auditor and yourself to find the supporting documents. Take the time and do it right. Tip number 5, liquidation. Unlike most companies, yours will have a short lifespan. Sorry, guys. It's fine. I'm already into the new trending video. Life's a race. We gotta move on. Anyways, with this in mind, you'll want to make sure you have collected all the cash, make sure all the expenses have been paid, and try and sell all of your inventory. Speaking of inventory, keep in mind where you are in the program. Buying new inventory close to the end of the program could be a waste if you don't have time to sell it. Running out of a product is not a good thing either, but being left with a bunch at the end is bad as well. Look for that sweet spot and make sure to forecast for that. With liquidation, you should have all of your financial statements organized and prepared. Hopefully, you're just taking what you already had, editing it for final touches, and you should be good. Please do not try to finish these last minute.
I'm freestyling, just saying what comes into the top of my head, like it's just random.
Even though success comes in many forms, I can guarantee you that you will save yourself a ton of stress by having it organized throughout the year. There's a high chance that you'll have questions and will hope for some guidance. If you come to a mentor or teacher at 11 p.m. at night before the due date, you won't get the help you need.
But 11 p.m. is like my most productive hour.
Adults sleep normal hours, just so you know. But come to them a week early and hopefully they'll have time to help you out. So, how do you fit into your team? Your role can be difficult. You may feel like you're kind of the bummer of the party. But don't think of it this way. Your team can be ambitious, but they need boundaries. And this is where you come in. Boundaries are needed to challenge people and bring out their true genius. So throughout every spreadsheet you work on, every number you crunch, you'll be working with your other team members. I said it at the beginning of this video and I'll say it again. Delegate. Delegate. Don't take it on all by yourself. Work with other people. If you have something finished, have somebody else look it over and check your numbers. The more people that look, the easier it'll be to find any little mistake. From experience, I can say that these little mistakes have been the difference between a winning and very successful team to the runner-up. Here are some specific ways you'll need to work with your other executives. Production. Work with production to organize inventory costs. IT. Work with IT to discuss website building programs and their costs. HR. Work with HR to organize staff hours and training, especially if you're paying people. President. Work with the president constantly to make long-term forecasting decisions and communicate with the entire team so that everyone knows the progress that you guys have made. With teamwork, organization, accuracy, and a bit of hard work, I know that you and your team will be well on your way to success. Good luck. Good luck. Your team will be well costs. I'm annoying to myself. Okay. I didn't bring my Visine. Costs.